What up, everybody? Welcome back once again to the Real Nerdy Review. Your boy is back with a brand new video. And if you're new to my YouTube channel, please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button. I need all the support that I can get. I'm working my way up the ladder, trying to reach 4,000 watch time hours next year in 2025, and trying to reach um 2,000 subscribers next year in 2025. So the New York Comic Con, I'm not sure if it's still going, but James Gunn was there, I believe, the other day or a couple of days ago, and he made some very interesting comments about um, the DCU and how things will be addressed going forward that happened from the past in the DCEU. So, as you can see here on Forbes.com, James Gunn explains how he will make DCEU things DCU canon. So, let's go ahead and get straight into it. And it says here, while I have a lot of optimism about James Gunn's DCU projects, ranging from Superman to Supergirl to Lanterns, there are some weird situations here where he is still determined to pull at least some elements into his own canon from the DCEU. Previously, he has anointed certain actors as keeping their parts, namely Peacemaker, Amanda Waller, and Blue Beetle, will retain their actors. But he's also said odd things like Peacemaker Season 1 will not be DCU canon, but Season 2 is being built to be DCU canon. This led to a recent statement he gave at NYCC about how he's going about this. There are references to things that happened in the past, and those references then become canon in the DCU because we mentioned them. Now, I gotta be honest with y'all, I think it would have been better if he went with a clean slate instead of trying to, you know, mention stuff and say it's canon, because I just feel like it muddies the waters, you know what I mean? Is this a clean slate or not? Continuing on, this reminds me a bit of what Disney has been doing with Legends Star Wars content, making some of its canon when it gets referenced in the new canon universe. But it seems like Gunn will be picking and choosing more often, and my guess is that much of this may have to do with his own projects. We already know this is true with Waller and Peacemaker, and now we have another example of this. In Creature Commandos, for instance, Rick Flag Sr. will exist in a world where his son is dead. Though Creature Commandos is animated, those animated characters will also use their voice actors as live action counterparts when they appear. So Frank Grillo is supposed to be showing up to play Rick Flag Sr. in Peacemaker Season 2 as well, dealing with the man who killed his son. So I guess the live action stuff is also going to translate over to the animated stuff and vice versa. Okay. And if that event in Suicide Squad is canon, then is the rest of Suicide Squad canon? See, that's the confusion right there. This is what I'm saying. It would have been better if he would have just hit the reset button instead of trying to take certain events and certain characters and make it canon, because now it's going to leave everybody confused. Is this a world where Margot Robbie is still the DCU's Harley Quinn, which extends to Jared Leto's and Ben Affleck? I mean, obviously a line will be drawn somewhere, but we just don't know where. Maybe it stops at Flag and Peacemaker in the rest of that movie, and its characters aren't canon. Maybe Robbie shows up in the future. We have no projects confirmed to have Harley Quinn in them. Maybe she's retired and replaced. The line would certainly be drawn before Leto, Joker, and Affleck Batman, obviously. It's strange to navigate, and while I get that Gunn wants to save some of his friends from his projects, maybe a clean slate would have been best. Exactly. But in the long run, it may not matter at this point. I think we have to trust the man's judgment. So yeah, in my honest opinion, I think it would have been better if you went with a clean slate instead of trying to take some characters and some stories from the DCEU and add it to the DCU. I just feel like there's no reason to try and save anything from the DCEU. It's dead. There's nothing to salvage. James Gunn should have just hit the reset button and started with all new cast. Maybe if he just want to keep Peacemaker, fine. But everything else should have just been thrown to the trash. And it does make things a little confusing because is it just the certain characters in these small certain events, but these certain events played a bigger story in the DCEU. So what's canon and what's not? It doesn't make any sense. To me, I feel like if he wants to just hit the reset button and, make characters alive again and add them to the DCU and just forget whatever happened in the DCEU because that's a different universe and a different thing. I'm completely fine with that. It just doesn't make sense why we are getting this DCU adding stuff from the DCEU. I mean, if you want to add Peacemaker, that's fine. If you want to add, you know, I can't think of anything else. Amanda Waller, that's fine. But just draw a line and say, okay, everything that happens from Superman here on out is canon to the DCU, and everything that happened in the DCEU is not canon to this new universe. That's it. Because it just doesn't make sense as to why he's trying to take things, because that told a bigger story. You know what I mean? The one thing he did mention that is not in this article was um, how the DCU is a one whole universe. It's a shared universe, but everything is going to have its own aesthetic. So basically, you're not going to have every I'm guessing character and movie feel like it's set in the same city or it's gonna have the same tone, which I'm completely fine with. I think that's something that Marvel should do because everything feels like it has the same tone. It's like Marvel uses the same formula, but they just add in different characters, and but everything has the same tone. That's what I feel like should be done with the DCU. Um, that James Gunn is doing. He's adding, you know, even though he's adding everything into one shared universe, but it's gonna have its own tone, its own feel to it. You know what I mean? So that's how I feel it should be done. I don't feel like everything should have the same similar look to it, if that makes sense. Because that's what we got with Marvel for all these years. You know what I mean? So I'm okay with it having its own tone. But as far as this goes, um, I definitely feel like it should be a full blown, resuit. Sorry, reboot. Just blow everything up, hit the reset button, let everything have its own story instead of being connected. Because it's just gonna confuse a lot of the people who are deep into this. And for people who aren't deep into this, they probably won't give a damn. But the people who are into this are gonna be looking at this sideways, like, so if you mention it, it's canon. If it's not mentioned, it's not canon. But this happened with this. It's like it's a domino effect. You know what I mean? Margot Robbie was this character. She was a part of this movie. It was in this universe. So is this person X, Y, and Z, and it just creates a long domino effect. So how can you tell what's canon and what's not? One small thing is tied to a bunch of other things that happen in the DCEU. So that's going to confuse a lot of people. That's all I'm saying. I'm confused right now just talking about it. But I do want to know what you all think. So please, post those comments down below. Share your thoughts. I want to know what all you think about all this. Post those comments down below. Make sure you're hitting that like and subscribe button. Make sure you are hitting that notification bell so you get notified every single time your boy does a video. I'm grateful for every last person that has been watching my videos, that has been sharing my videos, that's been subscribing. Let's continue to build this community. Let's reach 4,000 watch time hours. Let's reach 2,000 YouTube subscribers. And I'll catch you on my next video. Thank you again. Peace. I'm out, baby. 2,000 subscribers.